Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rich Dad, Poor Dad Deep Dive series. Today is the series' last video. We have finally reached the 9th chapter. And so, I want to thank everyone who has accompanied the series to this point. The 9th chapter is called, Want Some More? Here are some to-dos. This is about some practical things that you should do to truly reach financial freedom. Let's begin. First idea. Take action immediately. Don't just read the book and do nothing. Robert Kiyosaki's first and strongest message in this chapter is simple, but very powerful. Stop only studying and start doing. He says many people read books like this one, feel inspired for a few days, talk about the ideas with friends, and then go back to their normal life. Months or years later, they look at their bank account and wonder why nothing has changed. The reason is almost always the same. They never took real action. Reading and learning are important. They open your mind and give you new ideas. But knowledge alone does not make you rich. Action is what turns knowledge into experience. And experience is what creates real financial intelligence. You can read 100 books about money, but until you actually try something, even something small, the ideas stay only in your head. They do not become part of how you live. Kiyosaki admits that the ideas in the book can feel big and overwhelming at first. People often think, I need to understand everything perfectly before I start, or I will begin when I have more money, or I will wait until I feel ready. These thoughts sound smart, but they are usually just excuses that keep people stuck. His solution is simple. Take one small step today. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait until you feel completely confident. Just begin with something you can do right now. Small actions create results as time passes. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. At the beginning, it is small and slow, but once it starts moving, it grows bigger and faster by itself. The same thing happens with money and learning. When you take one small action, you gain a little confidence. That confidence makes the next action easier. Soon you are moving forward without forcing yourself as hard as you did at the start. The big difference between people who become rich and people who stay stuck is not talent, luck, or even how much they know. The real difference is action. Many smart people stay poor because they never move from thinking to doing. Many ordinary people become wealthy because they are willing to take imperfect steps and learn as they go. Think about it this way. If you want to learn how to ride a bicycle, you can watch videos and read books about balance and pedaling. But you will never really know how until you sit on the bike and try. You will fall a few times. That is normal. The falling is part of the learning. Money works the same way. You will make mistakes when you start investing, starting a small business, or managing your cash better. Those mistakes are not failures. They are lessons that only action can teach you. Kiyosaki encourages readers to stop collecting more information and start using what they already know. Even one small step is better than waiting for the perfect plan. You can open a separate savings account today. You can read one page about investing and then talk to someone who already invests. You can write down where your money goes for 1 week. You can sell something you no longer need and put that money into an asset. None of these steps are huge, but each one moves you from the world of, I will do it later, into the world of, I am already doing it. The people who succeed are not the ones who wait until they feel ready. They are the ones who start before they feel ready and then keep going. Action creates more things. Action creates confidence. Action creates results. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to begin. The sooner you start, even with a tiny step, the sooner you begin building the experience and the habits that lead to real wealth. So the first and most important idea is this: do something today. Do not just close the book and feel inspired. Close the book and take one small action. That single step is more powerful than reading 10 more books without doing anything. Momentum begins the moment you move. Second idea, find a mentor or someone who is already doing what you want to do. Robert Kiyosaki strongly believes that one of the smartest things you can do if you want to get rich is to find a mentor. A mentor is someone who is already successful in the area you want to learn, whether that is real estate, business, investing, sales, or any other skill that builds wealth. Instead of trying to figure everything out by yourself through years of mistakes, you can learn from someone who has already walked the path. Most people try to learn alone. They read books, watch videos, and experiment by trial and error. This approach can work, but it is slow and expensive. You pay for every mistake with your own time and money. A good mentor shortens that process dramatically. They have already made the common mistakes. They know what works and what does not. They can point out the traps before you fall into them. In many cases, a mentor can save you years of struggle and thousands of dollars in unnecessary losses. Kiyosaki's own life is the best example of this idea. His rich dad became the most important mentor he ever had. Rich Dad was already successful in business and investing. He did not just give advice, he showed Robert how money really works through real experiences. He taught him by giving him jobs, asking hard questions, and forcing him to think differently. Without that mentor, Kiyosaki says he would have followed the path of his poor dad and stayed stuck in the traditional employee mindset for much longer. Finding a mentor is not about asking someone to give you free money or do the work for you. It is about finding someone who is further ahead and being willing to learn from them. The right attitude is very important. You must be humble. You cannot act like you already know everything. Good mentors can quickly sense arrogance, and they usually stop sharing valuable knowledge with people who will not listen. You also need to be willing to offer value in return. You might help them with small tasks, bring energy and fresh ideas, work hard when given opportunities, or simply show genuine respect and gratitude. Many people make the mistake of looking for the perfect mentor right away. They dream of meeting a billionaire who will take them under their wing. While that can happen in rare cases, most useful mentors are much closer to home. They might be a successful local business owner, an experienced real estate investor in your city, a skilled salesperson, or even a relative or family friend who manages money well. The important thing is not how famous they are. The important thing is that they are actually doing what you want to learn and that they are willing to share what they know. A good mentor does more than give tips. They help you see the world differently. They challenge your thinking. They ask questions that force you to grow. They share stories of their own failures so you do not have to repeat them. They can also open doors by introducing you to other people or opportunities. Over time, learning from someone who is already successful builds your confidence and speeds up your progress in ways that books alone cannot match. Of course, not every successful person makes a good mentor. Some people are successful but cannot explain how they did it. Others may not have the patience or the desire to teach. That is why it is important to observe carefully. Look for people who are generous with their knowledge, who enjoy helping others grow, and who are known for real results, not just talk. Look for people who are a few steps ahead of you. Ask good questions. Listen more than you speak. Show that you are serious by taking action on the advice they give. When a mentor sees that you actually apply what they teach, they are usually willing to share even more. You do not have to learn everything the hard way. Standing on the shoulders of someone who has already succeeded is one of the fastest ways to grow. Finding the right mentor, approaching them with humility, offering value, and being ready to learn can change the direction of your financial life. Rich Dad was that person for Kiyosaki. Your own mentor might already be closer than you think, if you are willing to look for them and ready to listen. Third idea. Teach others what you're learning. Teaching is one of the best ways to improve. Robert Kiyosaki says one of the fastest and most powerful ways to truly understand the ideas in this book is to teach them to someone else. When you only read or listen, the information can stay on the surface. But when you try to explain those same ideas to another person, your family, friends, colleagues, or even people online, something important happens. You are forced to organize your thoughts, find clear words, and make the concepts simple enough for someone else to understand. That process deepens your own learning in a way that passive studying never can. Teaching is not just about helping others. It is one of the best tools for helping yourself. When you explain an idea out loud, you quickly discover what you truly understand and what is still unclear in your mind. If you struggle to explain a concept simply, it usually means you have not fully grasped it yet. This feedback is valuable. It shows you exactly where you need to study more or think more carefully. Many people believe they understand something until they try to teach it. The act of teaching reveals the mistakes and pushes them to fill those gaps. Kiyosaki encourages readers to share these financial ideas with people around them. You do not need to be an expert. You do not need a classroom or a big audience. You can start by talking about one idea with a family member at dinner. You can explain the difference between assets and liabilities to a friend. You can discuss the importance of cash flow with a coworker. You can write a short post online or record a simple video sharing what you are learning. The size of the audience does not matter at the beginning. What matters is the act of teaching itself. When you teach, you also attract the right kind of people into your life. People who are interested in growing, learning, and improving their financial situation will naturally be drawn to these conversations. Over time, this creates a circle of like-minded individuals who support each other, share experiences, and keep one another accountable. Instead of surrounding yourself only with people who think the old way about money, you begin to build a group that talks about assets, investments, and long-term thinking. Teaching also strengthens your own commitment. When you share an idea with someone else, you feel more responsible for living it yourself. It becomes harder to ignore the lessons when you have already told others about them. This creates a positive cycle. The more you teach, the more you practice, the more you practice, the more confident you become, and the more confident you become, the more naturally you can teach again. Many successful people use this method without even realizing it. They talk about what they are learning, answer questions, and refine their understanding through conversation. Kiyosaki himself has spent decades teaching these principles through books, talks, and courses. Each time he explains the ideas, he deepens his own mastery of them. You do not need to wait until you feel like an expert. Start with what you know right now. Choose one idea from the book that made sense to you and try to explain it to someone in simple words. Notice what questions they ask. Notice where you struggle to find clear examples. Use those moments as signals for what to study next. Teaching turns learning into an active process instead of a passive one. In the end, the people who grow the fastest are often the ones who share what they learn. Teaching does not take knowledge away from you, it multiplies it. It clarifies your thinking, strengthens your understanding, builds better relationships, and keeps you moving forward. If you want these financial ideas to become part of how you think and live, one of the smartest steps you can take is to start teaching them to others today. Fourth idea: control your cash flow and focus on building your asset column every month. Robert Kiyosaki keeps returning to a simple but powerful truth. If you want to become rich, you must control your cash flow and keep building your asset column. This is not a one-time decision. It is a monthly discipline that separates people who grow wealthy from people who stay stuck. Cash flow is the movement of money in and out of your life. Most people focus only on how much they earn. Kiyosaki teaches that the more important question is, What happens to the money after it arrives? Does it disappear into expenses and debt, or does a portion of it go into assets that will later put more money into your pocket? The people who become rich are the ones who carefully watch this flow and deliberately direct more of it toward assets every single month. The first practical step is to track your cash flow. Many people have only a vague idea of where their money goes. They know their salary, but they do not clearly see how much leaks away through small daily spending, subscriptions, impulse buys, or lifestyle habits. Kiyosaki encourages readers to create a simple personal financial statement, a clear picture of income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. When you write these numbers down and review them regularly, you stop guessing and start seeing reality. This clarity is the foundation of better decisions. Once you can see your cash flow, the next rule is to pay yourself first. This means setting aside money for investing and building assets before you pay other bills or spend on wants. Most people do the opposite. They pay everyone else first and hope something is left at the end of the month. Usually, nothing is left. Paying yourself first forces you to treat your future wealth as a non-negotiable expense. Even a small amount saved and invested every month begins to work for you. Controlling expenses is equally important. This does not mean living in misery or never enjoying life. It means being honest about the difference between needs and wants, and refusing to let lifestyle spending grow faster than your ability to invest. Many people get raises or better jobs and immediately increase their spending. Their income goes up, but their asset column stays the same or grows very slowly. The rich train themselves to keep expenses under control so that more money can flow into assets instead of disappearing forever. The heart of this idea is continuous focus on the asset column. Assets are things that put money in your pocket: rental properties, businesses, stocks that pay dividends, intellectual property, or other investments that generate income. Liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. Kiyosaki's core teaching is that the rich buy assets while everyone else buys liabilities and thinks they are assets. Every month, you should ask yourself a simple question: did my asset column grow this month? If the answer is no, something needs to change. This is why Kiyosaki calls it a monthly discipline. Once a month, review your numbers. Look at what came in, what went out, and what was added to your assets. Celebrate small progress. The power of this habit is that small, consistent actions compound over time. Adding a little to your assets every month may not feel dramatic at first, but over years, the results become massive. The same is true in the opposite direction. Small leaks and uncontrolled expenses also compound, slowly draining your future. Many people wait for a big windfall or a perfect opportunity before they start. Kiyosaki's approach is different. He teaches that the habit of managing cash flow and growing assets every month is more important than waiting for one big break. The person who steadily builds their asset column, even with modest amounts, eventually gains freedom and options that the person who only dreams about big scores will never have. In practical terms, this idea means treating your personal finances with the same seriousness a business owner treats a company. You track the numbers. You protect the cash flow. You invest in things that produce more cash flow. You review progress regularly. Over time, the gap between income and expenses widens in your favor, and the asset column begins to generate its own income. That is the path from working for money to having money work for you. The message is clear and practical. Control your cash flow, pay yourself first, keep expenses in check, and make sure your asset column grows every month. These simple, repeated actions done consistently create the foundation of real, long-term wealth. Fifth and final idea: give back and help others. True wealth includes generosity and legacy. Robert Kiyosaki's final idea in this chapter is both practical and very simple. True wealth is not complete without generosity and a sense of legacy. Getting rich is important, but staying rich and living a meaningful life also involves giving back. Whether through teaching these principles, mentoring others, donating, or creating opportunities, helping people improve themselves is part of the journey. Many people think of wealth only in terms of money in the bank or assets they own. Kiyosaki expands that definition. He teaches that real wealth includes the ability and willingness to lift others up. When you share knowledge, time, or resources, you do more than help someone else. You strengthen your own understanding, expand your network, and often open doors that just being greedy would never create. One of the most powerful ways to give back is by teaching the financial principles you are learning. Explaining ideas about assets, cash flow, and financial intelligence to family, friends, or a wider audience forces you to master the material more deeply. At the same time, you plant seeds that can change someone else's future. Mentoring works the same way. Guiding a person who is a few steps behind you creates a positive cycle. They grow, you refine your own thinking, and both of you benefit. Generosity also shows up in creating opportunities. This might mean hiring people, supporting a small business, sharing useful contacts, or simply encouraging someone who is ready to take action. Donating money or resources can be part of it too, especially once your own financial foundation is stronger. The key is intention. Giving from a place of abundance rather than forced or with second interests. Kiyosaki points out that this approach often brings unexpected returns. People who focus only on taking tend to stay isolated. People who help others frequently find that opportunities, partnerships, and goodwill flow back to them in surprising ways. This is not magic. It is the natural result of building trust, expanding your circle, and becoming known as someone who adds value. There is also a deeper personal reward. Building wealth solely for yourself can feel empty after a certain point. Using that wealth, and the knowledge that created it, to improve other lives adds meaning and lasting satisfaction. Legacy is not only about the money you leave behind. It is about the people you influence, the skills you pass on, and the positive cycle you start. This idea does not mean you should give away everything or neglect your own financial growth. Kiyosaki's teaching is balanced. First, build your own strength and asset column, then use that strength to help others. Trying to give from an empty place usually leads to resentment or burnout. Giving from a growing foundation feels natural and sustainable. In practical terms, you can start small. Share one idea from this book with someone who might benefit. Offer to explain a simple money concept to a younger person. Support a friend who is trying to improve their finances. As your own knowledge and resources grow, your capacity to give expands with them. The final message is clear and hopeful. Wealth is not only about what you accumulate, it is also about what you contribute. When you combine financial intelligence with generosity, you create both personal freedom and a positive impact that lasts. Teaching, mentoring, and helping others does not take away from your success. It multiplies it, deepens it, and turns temporary gains into a lasting legacy. So, thank you everyone for watching the full Deep Dive series. It's been a long journey to complete the full book, and so, to everyone who watched until the end, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. It truly helps the channel. Even though the series is over, there will be new series that will come soon. Videos that will talk about famous people, people who were able to rise from nothing, people who worked hard and were able to turn their life upside down for the better. Historical figures to explore the origins of people of ancient places who, despite the time they lived in, were able to do many things and have impacts around the world, like Alexander the Great, Charlie Chaplin, and more. I'll see you guys soon.